Hello, welcome back, Boxer1 here, and today we're going to be looking at this. This is LEGO set 21155 from 2019, the Creeper Mine. It comes with 4 or 3 figures, depending if you call a creeper a figure, as well as 2 mobs, and a very massive Creeper Mine, as the name would suggest. It has some pretty cool play features, and just some pretty cool looks. So, I'm going to show you all of this today, give you my honest opinion on this entire set, and I do hope you'll enjoy. Let's get into it. Let's first take a look at the figures here, and the first one we have is the Creeper Miner, I guess you could call her, and she's pretty cool. I'll try and get the glare off her there. But she's a very interesting character. She has a yellow torso with some very nice printing on it, like a leather apron or something like that, or whatever you'd call that. She also has a belt there and some goggles on her head. She does have some back printing there, which is quite simple, but quite good. And she just has simple dark brown legs and an iron pickaxe. A very cool character, and I quite like this one. Next up, we have Steve, which is your average Steve. I mean, he's not really too special in any way, but he's Steve. He doesn't have any back printing as usual, and he's just carrying an iron sword today. Very cool. Then, of course, I mean, it's the Creeper Mine. You can't have the set without the Creeper. So we do get a Creeper in the set. It just uses that same Creeper body piece and the Creeper head. You've seen it 1,000 times. It's not new, but it's very dusty, apparently. Great. Now this one, though, is quite interesting. This is the husk, where if it will focus, which it doesn't want to do for some reason. There we go. This is the, I think, only exclusive character to the set besides the miner, of course, with the player skin. And this guy's really cool. He is obviously a husk, and he's never been made before this and never was made after this. You can see some simple prints on him. He's a very simple figure, but he's definitely a harder to find one given that he only came in this expensive set. I actually really like this figure. I think he's a very good one, and he's just your desert zombie. So yeah, a very cool figure to have included in the set, and definitely a good one. Next up, very weird inclusion. You get a cow, of course, and yeah, he just uses that simple cow print for the face, and the body is also pretty simple, which it keeps unfocusing. Yeah, it's just your simple cow body. It's not too interesting, but it does have udders, so do with that information what you will. And yeah, you get a nice cow, which who doesn't want a cow? The final character here is the Bat, and the Bat is a bat. He's very simple. He has his wings right here folded up. You can also unfold them. And that's what that looks like. Very cool. So you have that option if you want him to be flying or just perching, I guess, upside down. I guess hanging upside down would be the right way to say that. But yeah, he is a very simple little face print with the 2 eyes, which I always thought looked very goofy in the mouth. And yeah, very simple character, but definitely a nice inclusion for a cave set. But now that we have looked at the figures, we can look at the set itself, and it is quite large. We'll start with the exterior and work our way in. First of all, obviously, it's separated into kind of 3 distinct areas: the desert, the mesa, and then the actual mine itself. The desert's very simple. It has dead bush, a cactus, and a start of a rail with a minecart with a chest in it. That's simply situated in between 2 rails using, first off, these little track pieces on the outside to hold it in, and then these as well. And that actually contains a lot of gold, and you'll see what that's used for later. The mesa has a little sign here, a printed piece, with some sugarcane, some potatoes, and a little ladder on either side, up to this little creeper mine, or I guess this creeper, build here. And the actual creeper has a bed, a furnace, and an anvil, as well as 2 creeper banners holding a chest in. Now to get the chest out, you simply can lift this up. I mean, you can also kind of open the chest in there, which, as you can see, just has 4 pieces of wheat. But I'll take it out just so you can see how it's actually put in. And there are actually just 2 slits in there that you can slide the handles into. Now, as I said, the chest literally just has 4 pieces of wheat, as you can see there, and it doesn't really serve much of a purpose. It's just there, and another cool little thing to add to the set. Moving up, we actually get to the skull of the creeper, which if you look actually inside, it's kind of ugly. But if you're just looking at an angle, it looks pretty good. I would say I wish they put these pieces in here in black, just so it'd be a little bit more consistent. Kind of looks like he has teeth. But you'll see why this is actually a thing. Up top, you can also see something that we'll get to later, just a little chute in here, maybe a hopper. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But we can also get onto the entrance, which is also, I guess, exterior, so that makes sense here. There is an item frame holding a diamond pickaxe, which you can also take off and give to a character if you want, as well as a TNT block on top. I believe there's 3 pieces of TNT in this set in total. Then there's also a skull at the bottom and a bat, so that's pretty cool. And that bat simply hangs from an inverted jumper. As you can see there, that's simply done by, I can't really take it apart, but there's just 2 pins in there, and then there's 2 pinholes, and then this piece connects upside down to those pinholes to actually just put it in upside down. There's another one on the inside, which I'll point out in a second, or actually I can just point out now, since that's kind of where we're going. And you can see that on the underside right there. Well, I guess it's still technically the exterior. I consider it the interior. We have this little mine entrance here, or I guess maybe exit, with another printed sign kind of cautioning danger. And this actually has a play feature. Ignore the dust on top of that TNT. But there's a play feature here. You simply press down on this, and if you don't rip the set in half, this can blow up and fly off. And it's actually a pretty cool one. It's just, you can actually remove this as well if you want. And that just basically clears the tracks for your minecart. Also just a torch up here and some rafters holding up the actual mine shaft, but that can easily just be placed on top of those 2 jumpers. And yeah, it works pretty well. It's actually a pretty cool play feature. On the other side, there is some lava, which you also have seen a little bit of in the front, and just some more little things here, leading over to the end of a track in this direction, and a little chute here, which we'll talk about. You can also see the back inner workings of this creeper, as well as a ton of gold in the walls, which is just a little cool detail. At the back, you get another explosive feature. This time, the lever is on the front, so it is visible if you're just looking at it. And you just pop that, and it blows up into 3 pieces, actually. The TNT, the brick, and then the stone, and then the dirt. So yeah, pretty cool. And then, as you can see, it exposes a bunch of gold, all of which is mineable, as well as there's also stone blocks that are mineable. 4 gold ore in total is here, though. But now we can get onto the main feature of the set. This minecart isn't just for show, as I said earlier. It does have some meaning to the actual set, and if we empty out the gold, there's some stuck in there. There we go. We can put this chest right here at the bottom, opened and facing the chute. Now, if we grab the gold, we can go up to that hopper on top of the creeper head, and as you can see, there is literally just black in there right now. And that's when this little lever thing that you saw earlier is forward. If you push it, though, there's actually a hole in there, and you're going to be able to see what that actually does. We'll close it up for now, and then we'll... Oh, well, that was the wrong way around. And as usual, I confused something. This is supposed to be in the backward position first when you started, and yeah. Then you drop it down, and it stays in there. You can kind of guess the mechanism based on that. When you pull the lever, the gold actually comes down here, although I guess I didn't show you it, so... You can see it again. It kind of all funnels down, and although there's a ton of gold, not all of it can fit in the chest. I guess I should have said because instead of although, but, you know, not all of it usually gets in the chest. Some falls through, which I don't know why they included that little area there. They should have probably bricked it up, or with walls, walled it up, just so gold wouldn't fall out, because, as you can see, it does. But yeah, it falls through the chute into the chest. That's basically it, though. Before we get on to my opinions on it, I do have to show you also, this can open if you want to clear a jam in there or something like that. And also, this at the front, which I forgot at the beginning, can also explode. And that's actually quite a big one. It flings this off, and the minecart. But now it's time for me to give you my opinion on this set. And my opinion is that this set is really cool. I forget how much it retailed for. I think probably close to 100, maybe 100, which I think is not too bad for this set. I mean, it's definitely a little high, probably, you may think, but I think it's definitely a good value, just because it probably doesn't translate as well on camera, but the size of this thing is really good. It is quite large, obviously not as large as some other sets, but it is quite large, and it definitely shows. Maybe if a minifigure will help you kind of show that size there. Yeah, it is quite large. And I think that it has some great play features and some great characters included in it as well. And just the setting of the set here is also really cool. This, I think, is the first inclusion of a Badlands Mesa biome in a LEGO set. They also obviously included one in the Wandering Trader set a couple years later. But this, I think, is the first inclusion. Also the first inclusion of a Husk. And I just think that's really neat. Anyway, I really like this set, and I hope you do too. This is kind of the final set of 2019, or at least the first wave of 2019. If you want me to review the second wave, I may be doing that in the future. Not now, but in the future. Unless I do decide to do it now, because I don't have any other ideas. Anyway, whenever I feel like it. That's what we'll put it. And I do hope you enjoyed. I shall see you next time. If you want to see the other reviews and you haven't seen them yet, I also have the other 2019 sets and also all the 2018 sets, as well as some 2016 ones. So I do hope you'll enjoy, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye.